I would say that, the Prophet ﷺ stated very clearly that the tradition, the political tradition of his faith would dissipate very rapidly after 30 years. And I think Muslims tend to forget that this so-called Islamic State has not existed in the history of Islam. And I think that it's a political fantasy that a lot of Muslims hold. And so I think a lot of those areas are not dissimilar to the Jewish Orthodox community and other religious communities that have pre-modern aspects of their tradition that are not compatible with Western liberal democracy. And I think it's important that Muslims don't waffle on those issues. I think that they should state them as they are. And simply, we believe this is a revelation, and there are certain things that are prohibited. In the Quran, homosexuality, acting on homosexuality is prohibited in the Quran. The impulses that people have, a homosexual, that was addressed in our books centuries ago. The prayer of a person who's known as ma'boon, who has that condition of being attracted to the same sex, is a valid prayer, even if they lead the prayer. That's mentioned in Maliki texts. But the idea of acting on it, and also just purely rectal intercourse for male and female is also prohibited. It's simply seen as something that harms people, so that physical act is prohibited. And Muslims, I don't think can change that in any way, because it's ma'lum min ad-din daruratan, it's known by all Muslims, and it really can't be waffled or fudged. On the other hand, I think it's important to humanize people and not to dehumanize people, and I think that the types of attitudes that a lot of Muslims have are incompatible with the spirit of mercy and of rahmah. And the other thing which is important is that people outside of the faith of Islam, according to the opinion that I was taught and that I hold, are not in any way obliged to follow the details of the Islamic law. So what is prohibited for us is not necessarily prohibited for them if they don't accept Islam as a tradition.